Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the I'll Try That podcast. We're going to be talking about the modernist Bavarian beer on offer from And Union, and Joe will be taking us through a hop topic involving BrewDog. But first of all, Drabbers, how's it going? Are you alright?
I'm just really tired. Really tired. All the time at the moment.
Yeah, heard that.
Like, I've just started back at work. I've nearly had a year off, furloughed, and I went back to work really, really excited, but I think I'd quite happily be furloughed again right now.
Bit of a shock to the system.
I just really want to sleep.
But it's interesting though, because although you were furloughed, you were still, you'd kind of got yourself some kind of part-time jobs. You'd kind of picked yourself up some volunteer work as well, hadn't you? So it wasn't like you were kind of just fully, not like kind of lazy bones about it. You were very active, but are you saying like it's a different step up now you've gone back into work full time?
Yeah, like you're just going back in and you just got to think. I forgot how much I thought all the time. Like people just like, you're just cruising like on your days off and stuff like that and in furlough and everything. But the amount I have to think, I didn't realise how much thinking I did. And just being outside in the fresh air all the time as well just makes you tired.
I know what you're saying about the fresh air. That always gets me. Having very much an office or at home office job right now. You sat indoors, but anytime you get any time outside, either walking around or exercising, I just get exhausted just from that kind of outside fresh air, and sunshine as well drains you as well, doesn't it?
Oh, especially being by the sea as well.
Have you guys had the virus?
No, I haven't, thankfully. Touch wood.
Yeah, luckily, I think I avoided it.
Oh, nice. I think I've got a bit of the long COVID or COVID long thing. Just every now and then, you just, I can't face it.
Oh, no.
That could be anything. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Oh, I just can't. Well, you'll everything leave me alone. I might be being a little bit melodramatic.
It's funny, I have never had COVID, but I still get those days as well.
Weekdays.
Usually on a Monday.
Yeah. Just leave me be. I want to get off.
But given you've got you've had your COVID, so it just kind of wiped you out, did it, for like a few days, or was it a couple of weeks? Like, what was the time frame we were talking about?
I was about 10 days. Do you know what? I was really pleased I never got the loss of sense of smell or taste, because I love my food. So my beer and everything like that. I was really glad to not lose that. But yeah, just felt rotten and I had real peaks and troughs with it, actually. I had a couple of times when I sort of felt I'm absolutely fine. In fact, I almost feel great. And then I remember having dinner one night, and I was almost like bowing my head, just go, I feel so rough. Lethargy and just like you've been hit by a car.
Well, it knocked you for six by the sound of things. Completely knocked you for six. Just body was just wiped out. So Drabs, you're going to complain a little bit less now about going back to work and feeling a bit weepy, a bit tired?
I feel probably. I probably should stop complaining. I should just be happy that I have a job, and that it's quite and I do quite enjoy it. I'll stop moaning now.
No, it's not exactly brain surgery, is it?
No, he's a rocket scientist.
Yes, I was hoping someone would come back with that.
But no, actually, I will defend your right, Drabbers, to have a moan.
You need to.
No one likes to admit it, but moaning's wonderful. I love having a right old moan.
I completely agree. You need to get it out your system. You need to get a good moan in. You need to, because it helps get it out there as well. And honestly, it's so healthy because everyone's in the same boat and everyone's feeling the same way, and it helps you remind everyone that everyone's all feeling the same about these things. Yeah. And like you said, you're just back at work, using your brain all the time, or outside exerting lots of physical energy. Like, you're going to be knackered naturally. So yes, do it.
And I punched a boat by accident, and now my knuckle also hurts. It's just been a bad week.
What did the boat say to you?
It was just mugging me off and wouldn't turn on.
You were trying to arouse the boat.
You're usually meant to smash a champagne bottle, not punch it when you're launching boats.
I can't afford champagne.
I hear Lidl do a nice selection of champagne for a couple of quid.
cheeky bottle of sparkling cider.
Let's jump into a hot topic, shall we? So, So this week on the Hop Topic, we are going to be talking about BrewDog again, because lo and behold, what a surprise, they've done another groundbreaking, innovative sustainability push. And this is in light of, we know that they've done a lot of work, obviously, in the past. We've talked ample about on this podcast. But they've seemed to have come up with an umbrella campaign for all of their sustainability work, and the work they're doing to help, with saving the world. And it's under this umbrella of MEGA. Now, some of you might be pretty familiar with MEGA or MAGA, which is the Make America Great Again, that rallying cry from the Trump campaign. But they've decided to own this as MEGA. And MEGA stands for, Rich, do you know?
Make eggs great again.
That would be pretty good. It would be much better if it was Make Eggs Great Again. Eggs are pretty great. No, it's Make Earth Great Again. So again, you can see this makes a bit of sense. They're trying to all link this kind of, this is our sustainability, this is what we're doing, and it's all under this banner of Make Earth Great Again. So this latest work that they've done with Mega is that they've launched a whole new range of beers called trash can beers. Now, trash can, obviously that doesn't make you see you appealing. That doesn't why are they making beers that I don't want to drink out of a trash can? That's disgusting. But what they've said is that due to print-ready processes, minimum run sizes and errors in production and errors in forecasting, almost 1 billion perfectly good drinks cans never get used every year. As part of their commitment to reducing waste, they're going to reuse the cans destined for the trash and fill them with a 3.8 Hells. So this is a lager. So they've obviously decided that, there's all of this, these waste cans from all the different brewers around the world. I'm not sure exactly who's participating in this, or if they're maybe talking with recycling centres and getting sent these cans or what. But they're basically making these cans ready to go and putting in their own beer and then selling them out as this new proposition. So trying to give a new life, I suppose, to these cans that would otherwise never be used. So that's pretty cool. Quite like that.
I think I thought of a spokesperson for this trash can campaign. Can you guys remember Oscar the Grouch? He used to live in the trash can on Sesame Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. A hero of mine.
Yeah, I think they should get him involved.
I want to give a little bit of... I'm no mathematician, but from that side of things, I can say that 1 billion is loads. 1 billion is loads of cans, and that's loads of beers. I don't know how that is a proportion of all the canned beers that are made in that time frame, but 1 billion is loads. That's loads of beer.
But also, it's very smart from BrewDog as well, because if they're gathering these cans from not just their own kind of wastage of supply, but also from other brewers, aren't they then? They're getting free cans, or they're getting reduced cost cans and then reusing them as well. So their per unit should be cheaper, or a smaller amount that they're having to pay in for these cans. So I think all round it makes a lot of sense, both business wise and with the marketable side of, we're saving the world, we're saving the planet, we're reducing waste. It seems like a win-win on BrewDog's side, doesn't it? So
are these cans, were they defective before they were going in, and they're being kind of crushed down, recycled and repurposed to go through? Is that the general vibe?
Yeah, they explain it as being they don't even have to be defective cans. They might just have been people might have purchased or over forecasted and thought, we're going to sell in 4 months time, we're going to sell 500,000 cans, and they only end up selling 350,000 cans, let's say. So there's quite a lot of cans. There's a huge discrepancy, but there's a lot of cans then that you're not filling the beer in. And as we know, obviously, if you can't, beer doesn't have a long shelf life, so your forecasting of when you're going to need beer by affects everything, from the amount of liquid you're producing to the amount of beer that actually goes out there, but also obviously the amount of cans that you need created and given to you. So that's one way. They say other things like minimum run sizes. So that basically means that a printer, so someone who creates who makes the cans, they have to meet a certain minimum quota every month. So, they're not going to just say, all right, I'm, a brewery down the road, I'm only going to have 1 can, please. They're always going to have to do a certain number at any given time because of the, the scale of, what's Barbara, you might know the business term for the scale of,
economies of scale.
That's it, economies of scale. So, they need to do bigger batch. The more batches you do, or the bigger volume that you do of printing off cans or making of cans, in theory, the lower the price for each individual unit is. So there'll be things like that. And they just say stuff like print ready processes, errors in production. So as you said, maybe they've just printed weirdly onto the can when they're doing they're actually printing onto the cans themselves. Maybe the label's got a bit duff. So, lots of different reasons, really. So it doesn't have to be that there's been a massive gouge out the middle of the can, let's say, for example.
Yeah, I just had an idea in my head. When you used to go to Cadbury's World and you'd get in the Cadbury's store, they had the bags of all like the dud chocolates and everything, like misshapes and all that sort of stuff. I would be more than happy to buy a crate of beer of misshaped cans for a discount price. I think that would be a really good selling point, like a double can connect to like two cans sealed together or something like that. I'm down for that as an option for cheaper beer. And if BrewDog's going to do that,
So they're also saying, obviously going on to it, that they're not going to be creating like secondary cartons, where you get 4-packs, 6-packs, 8-packs, whatever. These cans will just come as they are, like in your order that you would buy from BrewDog. What they've also done is they've supported this kind of mega campaign. They've created a mega game. So this is a game that you can use on the website or on your phone. And it's called the Megabot, the Carbon Killer Needs You. And basically, what they say for the description, can you help the BrewDog Megabot bring down the bad guys? Designed to be played with a beer in hand, simply tap to remove CO2, plant trees and save water to make Earth great again. Remember, every tap counts. Will award monthly prizes to the world's top winners. Some of the awards that you can win for playing this Megabot game is that you can first prize... Well, let me run these past you, okay? What do you think of as the 5th place prize? You can get a vegan meal for 2.
Nice.
Okay, we're gonna go up. These prizes should get better as we go up the tiers. Okay.
I want to know what's the vegan meal for 2 is. Solid prize, but I'm keen to know where we go from here.
Right. Fourth place, you get 12-pack of the Punk IPAs.
Yeah,
decent.
I'm in. That's good. It's better than the vegan meal.
You'd have thought pound value lower than the meal, but I'd go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think maybe who you're talking to, I definitely would put the beer at maybe a higher value than the vegan meal.
Yeah.
Right. Third place. We're still in the beer category, obviously, for BrewDog. 48 beer bundle.
Okay.
So you can get 48 of their cans.
I like that.
Now you're talking. You'd be happy with third, wouldn't you?
Right, second place. Okay, we're upping the stakes now. We're 1 away from first prize. What do you guys reckon second place is going to be?
Drabbers, after you.
100 beers. That's what I've gone for.
Like it. That's a good call. It's a good call. Barber?
I think it might be one year's supply of patented Joe Druitt beer shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah, no, unfortunately the Joe Druitt shampoo and conditioner hasn't reached the market just yet.
Has it been discontinued? Oh.
Yeah, we had some production issues, couldn't get off the ground. But you're right, absolutely spot on with the 1 year claim that for second place you get beer for a year.
Nice, that's good.
So they're going to give you beer for a whole year. But that's not yet. We're not there yet. We're not even at number 1 spot yet. So first prize, it builds on the second place. You get a beer for a year, but you also get your very own tree.
Wow. You could...
Cool.
A tree. Yeah.
A tree.
Just when you think they couldn't do better than second prize, they top it off with a tree.
What's better than a year of beer? Well, a year of beer and a tree, obviously. Now that makes sense. Yeah. Particular type of tree?
Do you get to choose where the tree is?
So there is a bit of context to this. I'm sure it's in a small disclaimer, but I know BrewDog basically have planted a forest up in Scotland, and so you will have one of the trees within the forest, the BrewDog forest.
Right. Okay. I thought just they were going to plant one tree.
So if I wanted to go and visit my tree, I'd really struggle to find it in the forest they're planting.
Maybe I don't know. They might have I have. There's a company that have done a similar thing. So Lefroy, the
whiskey,
the whiskey up in Islay. I actually bought as part of when you buy one of their whiskies, you get given a square by square plot of land in their peat field, And basically what they've done is they can actually show you online exactly where your plot of your square is. Like they've basically maxed it all out. And then when you buy it, it basically just links it to one of those squares. So I can go online now and find out exactly where my peat thing, and I actually went to visit this peat field when I was over in Isla. And it was awesome. Like I didn't know exactly where mine was because I wasn't like trying to find it, but it was just like to be in the peat field where my square bit of land is
Nice.
in their field was great. It was a nice touch. Really, really nice touch into the brand. Yeah. Like you really feel a part of it.
What do you call a man with rotting vegetables on his head? Pete.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Sorry about that.
Awesome.
So this week we're going to be talking about And Union. Modernist Bavarian beer is what they call themselves on the website. I've never heard of this beer until Joe suggested that we go and do it. But just from generally having a peruse through their website and their general design and what they're putting out, I'm on board. It's quite modern, it's funky, and it's cool so far.
Nice. Those are great adjectives. Modern, funky, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So I, as you said, Rich, this is a new company on me as well. And I was really struck when I was walking through the supermarket, just obviously perusing the beer aisle, having a look at what was there. And these cans and the design of these cans just struck me. They really stood out. They look like nothing else that you can get right now on the shelves.
One of a kind.
So, as you're probably expecting from a company that talks about themselves or refers to themselves as a modernist Bavarian beer company, the design of these cans are super minimalist, super modern. The cans themselves are, are kind of all one color, and they have, just a very minimal word, kind of descriptors on them. They have a day of the week. They have the, what product it is. So it's a dark lager. There's a India Pale Ale. There's a lager as well, and an ABV on the front and back. And that is it. Everything else is like kind of, it's called debossed into the can, and it's kind of like adding a bit of texture to it itself. So it looks totally different to anything else that you'll see on the shelves.
No frills. Like it.
So I was just having a read on their... Oh, no. So I was just having a read on their website, just reading about the cans, the design, everything. It goes, crafted and packaged to appeal to modern, global, contemporary palate and lifestyle, which I can say it does.
Yeah, I like it. The Thursday that I've got here looks like the opening credits to a Christopher Nolan film. That's going to resonate with people.
All those Christopher Nolan fans. So, Barbs, maybe you tell us a bit more about the general, about the portfolio. Like, what you just said about Thursday. Is that like one of their beers? Or?
Thursday is one of the three I managed to pick up from the supermarket the other day. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to have a look at a little bit more and find out from them. Is I think it's a suggestion a little bit of a beer to have on a given day of the week. Notably missing is Monday. Which I think we've got a couple of question marks about why that is. And nobody likes Mondays. But then Tuesday they go in with sort of a nice baby blue coloured wheat beer, which is alcohol free. Wednesday is the bright, vibrant yellow wheat beer that's about I think it's about 5% somewhere here. And then moving on into the week, you've got Thursday, which I'm enjoying at the moment, which is the dark lager. Actually, I'm glad I poured it out into a glass because, it is really dark. And that's definitely worth a try. And they've got some really interesting pairings of some foods that they suggest with that. And then Friday, you've got an IPA, Saturday's a lager, and Sunday's a pale. So you're covering all the bases.
You can quite literally go through almost the whole week having a different beer every day, apart from Mondays. But maybe Monday's your rest day. On Monday, you rest.
It's not the 8th day of the week, but yeah.
Reading a little bit more about them and why they're set up. So as you kind of said, Rich, before, that they're a Bavarian, German company. And actually set up in Munich. And they've created this selection of genuine Bavarian craft beers, labeled Tuesday through to Sunday, that have been, kind of brewed with that legacy and the integrity, they call it, of the, I'm going to absolutely murder this, the Reinheitsgebot, which is the German brewing purity laws. Now, we talked about the German purity laws before, didn't we? About how they've got the really strict high standards for when it comes to their brewing of beer. And so this craft beer brewery has basically really embraced that and is saying, this is why we've created these beers, is a modern take on this very old traditional legacy of fantastic brewing standards that have come from Germany. So I quite like that. It's kind of trying to make own a more kind of modern take on a very kind of traditional, long-standing affair, which is these purity laws.
I like that. I always have this thing in my head about German beer drinking being very esteemed. If there's a country in which drinking beer is esteemed, it's Germany, and I think this beer is sort of very well aligned with that.
Coming along with that, I really like the phrase they put in here. It goes, as the world speeds up and we refuse to rush, our brewing process can take up to 8 weeks, working hand in hand with small 5th generation family run Bavarian breweries. It just speaks that they're taking their time and they're putting a little bit of effort, or they come across as though they're putting a fair bit of effort into brewing something really nice.
It sounds lovely that they're really tapping in just in that sentence to the fact that they're trying to be a very much kind of community driven, but a world community, like a global community. You can get these Bavarian brewers obviously are kind of creating the beers themselves in Munich, but they're saying, that the packaging and the positioning is all built on that kind of modern taste, but taking this again from the website, it comprises the wisdom and method of the grandfather and the passion and innocence of the grandchild. So they're saying it's everything from the local Bavarian farmers to London's boutique hotels and clubs, encompassing generations from the proverbial organic farm to a sophisticated and refined drinking experience. So they really are, like, even on their website, really trying to play in this, we're from Bavaria, but England, London, we very much have a place in England. So I don't know whether or not this is a company that you can only find maybe in Munich and Germany and in the UK as well. If this is like the 2 markets they've really decided that they want to own, or maybe this is a company that only sells in the UK, that they come from Munich and they just decided that they want to just sell this beer in the UK. But I quite like that, the fact that they've really pulled out on this kind of like it's English or like London's boutique hotels and clubs. It's quite a nice kind of touch, actually.
I think what I'm quite enjoying as well is it feels very steeped in history, the way they're going back and the way they're relating back to their forefathers before them and the brewing processes and that they've been doing this for a while. But we've done a lot of modern breweries quite recently. And they're going on about all their newfangled techniques and they're coming up with all of these crazy concoctions and stuff like that. But this seems to be sticking to something traditional and just trying to do it the old way, I suppose, would be the way to say.
Not mucking about with the liquid, not throwing in, kumquat and turnips and stuff like that. Just making proper nice beer. A good contrast as well, isn't it? If they say this is how we know how to do beer, we know what we're doing here. But to spice things up a bit, the way it looks and you see it on the shelf, we're going super modern with, but we are keeping it old school in actually brewing the stuff.
So let's talk a bit about the liquid. So, Barbara, I know you and I have both had a taste of the Thursday dark lager. What's your first impression?
When I saw dark lager, my mind I immediately thought it was going to be like an amber lager, but no, it's dark, really dark, unfiltered dark lager. And actually, last time I was on, we did Brooklyn, and I'd say it sort of takes it on a little bit further. And I think there was meant to be sort of really malty kind of flavours in there, and this is Thursday is doing that and packing a bit of a punch. I had a look. I'm afraid the things that go on in my mouth, I often don't know the words for. However, so as a result, I went to have a little look at some of the tasting notes on here, and there's one word that got me really excited. Well, she says, here's what you should be tasting, and to be honest, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Toasted malt, dark berry, caramelized orange peel, interestingly, which, to be honest, I wouldn't know what that would taste like normally, but apparently it's in the beer. But on the palate, you should be able to get a bit of umami.
Ooh, umami.
Is that the beans?
Isn't that the karate that Ross from Friends did?
I believe that was unagi. Are you, esteemed gentlemen, familiar with umami?
I have no clue.
What's umami?
The foggiest idea what umami is. I have no idea what umami is. I had this explained to me. So it's like the other taste, the other flavour that you can taste. So not sweet, not sour, not bitter. Umami, I've understood as being you often get it with Asian food, and it's a kind of savoury. I've heard it described as a bit of tang. Supposedly also a little bit prevalent in food with MSG in it. But there's also I heard a great example of an Italian chef talking about Parmigiano Reggiano being the ultimate umami. So that kind of again, it's a sort of savoury saltiness to like a Parmesan cheese. I'm not particularly getting Parmesan cheese here, but that's I find it incredibly difficult to describe what umami is, but I do think you get a little bit of it in the Thursday.
Well, I couldn't agree more with there's a lot there you covered with the Thursday, but definitely the kind of the darkness, the maltiness really struck out at me, and I have tried their Saturday before, which is I guess the light pairing to the dark lager. It's a lager as well, and that one felt really refreshing, really clean, and this dark one felt exactly the same, but for more of a heavy malted taste to it. And I'm really pleased that you brought up Brooklyn Lager, because it really felt more akin to a Brooklyn Lager in that it's got that more full bodied, it's got a lot of flavour to it. And that kind of like aromas, and it almost felt like a bit chocolatey, even though it's not even close to the porters, the stouts of the world. It definitely is a through and through like just a nice rich kind of warm chocolatey lager. So very much like that Thursday, and whereas the Saturday, as I said, is a contrast to that. It's the clean, it's the crisp, it's the lager, and it's definitely like a crafted lager rather than like kind of a more kind of mainstream, more kind of big brewery lager. It's, kind of what you kind of get with those kind of quite like American style, like light lagers. This is definitely a, kind of Camden Town lager, more like a Hell's style lager, where it's got quite a lot of flavour to it, but it feels really crisp and clean at the same time. So I've just popped open, which you might be having the same one as me, the Friday. Have you got that one on the go at the moment?
Yes, so I've been swinging the Friday the whole way through this recording, and I'll be honest with you, boys, I wasn't quite ready to drink beer today. I wasn't feeling 100%, and I was going into this slightly dubiously, thinking I wasn't going to enjoy anything that we tried, especially this being the strongest one I think they do, which is a 6.5%. So I was a bit worried, but I've got to say, I've been pleasantly surprised at how nice and how easygoing it's been to drink.
So so this is their India Pale Ale, right? So this is as you said, the 6.5%. Everything else is probably about the 5% category. So they really, are doing justice to the fact that this is a higher hopped, higher ABV beer in the 6.5. But what are you kind of taste wise are you getting, Rich? You said that it's really woken you up, or it's got you in the mood of drinking this beer. So what are you tasting flavor wise?
It is very heavily malty. You can taste the malt the whole way through, and it has a very long, I'm trying to get my word out, a lingering malty taste that I can taste all the way through. It says it's hoppy as well, but I'm not getting as much of the hoppy that I would want from an IPA, from maybe like a lighter IPA that you do get, but it's there, and it says it's unfiltered. Which I'm not too sure what that means in the sense for its taste. I don't know if any of you guys can help me out with that.
Usually unfiltered just means that it's a bit less refined, so a bit grittier. I suppose it's probably how you'd find that coming out in the beer is rather than feeling quite smooth or quite like that longer finish that comes out off the end of it. It could be quite like tart at times as well. What I'm finding quite interesting about this And Union one, you say there it's the hoppy and the malty, which you're expecting from an IPA, but this is definitely on the malty category rather than on the hoppy side. Whereas most IPAs are that quite crisp, they're quite quite sweet almost, but not like in a sugary way, but like in a full of flavour, and it's kind of uplifting. Whereas this one is delicious. It's a really nice Indian Pale Ale, but it's definitely on that kind of like more kind of mellow malty vibe rather than a quite highly carbonated, quite kind of zingy IPA that you can sometimes get in this category. Barbara, have you tried? Which one have you tried it now?
Sorry, yeah, I've just caught up with you guys, so I'm just trying the Friday as well. It's quite punchy. I like it. Yeah, and I was going to say the word I think that probably comes up particularly with the unfiltered stuff is hazy. which I suppose that kind of means I kind of actually in the appearance and a little bit in the taste as well. But it's funny, Travers, because you mentioned it. I always think, I have in my head these days that beer is either going to be hoppy or it's going to be malty. Whereas this is, it's hops and malt of full of character, I'd say. And I think that's probably because we've got, I'm just reading here, Simcoe, Chinook and Magnum hops. Magnum's a slightly new one to me, but Simcoe and Chinook are pretty popular, aren't they? Hops. I think they do appear quite a bit in your IPAs that are a little more hazy.
Doing a bit more about their kind of the general about the packaging. I know we've talked about the design on the cans. They have bottles as well, and you know it's like a really similar design on there. But what I also have, where I bought these beers through, is actually a tin. So they're 4-pack, and usually you get 4-packs in cars. You know, it's kind of that. Well, is what the beers will be housed in. But this one's made out of tin, and you know they've come in with this nice little letter that's called, little kind of marketing material that came in the can in the box itself, and it says "Saturday, I love you." It says on the back, "Don't waste, not even a drop." Seems like it's all out of whack, and the world is feeling it. We all have to dig deep, chip in, and do our part to steady the ship. So thanks for choosing And Union's sustainable and fully recyclable 4-pack tins. So what they're saying with this is instead of creating more waste for the world, like the cards, you know, they can be recycled, of course, but that's still waste. What they want you to do with this tin is to keep it. So you can recycle the cans as you would do any aluminium can, but the tin, what they want you to do is reuse it. So, you know, you could put different stuff in it, you know, you could use it, house it. And the reason why I think that's a genius idea, you've probably paid a little bit more because you're going to keep this tin afterwards, and it costs a bit more to make this tin than it would be a cardboard box. But also because the design is fantastic, and you'll want to house this. You'll want to keep it. You know, it's not something which you think, I don't really like the look of this, I'll throw it away. It's something where when I first looked at it, I thought, oh God, I definitely want to keep that. I definitely will be interested in putting other things in it, and I might even display this on a shelf somewhere. You know, that's how nice it looks. And I know it's talking about is a beer, but you know, they've got stuff on it, like one of the sides just has the word yum, you know, like written on one side. Like that's quite cool. It's not like massively, you know, saying this is a beer brand, we're about beer. It's like, actually, this is quite subtle. You know, it's got something a bit quirky.
You can just they're standard sized cans, right? You can use it to keep beer in. Although, do you think maybe you go and take some round to someone's house and they see you've got the And Union tin and they go, oh, brilliant, you've got some And Union beer. Oh, sorry, actually, I've only got, something else. Maybe they were looking forward to And Union. That's another thing. Yeah, where's the name come from? It's quite distinct. Do we happen to know where the name comes from? You texted me about it and said, we're going to see if we can get hold of some And Union, and I thought it was a spelling mistake. I was like, well, yeah, that can't be the name of it.
I thought it was going to be Union, and the And Union was and the and wasn't meant to be added on.
No, I can't find it, so I don't know, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's quite a distinctive name though, isn't it? It's not very instantly recognisable because you think And Union must be, as you said, might be part of a sentence, or maybe they're just called Union and they're whatever. It's a bit open for it. But now you know they're called And Union. It's very catchy. And actually, like, because And Union itself is written, it's not like it's plastered all over the can. Like, it's literally in a small square on the side or back of pack and just has the word And Union written in it. It's really subtle. So at first, I actually didn't know who made this beer because I just was picking up the Saturday Lager. I was like, "Ooh, a Saturday Lager? Is this like a store brand? You know, is this made by the retailer that I'm picking this up from?" But no, it's actually from from a brewery, and they've decided to call them from Day of the Week, so it's a bit quirky.
I'd just say Friday also makes me want to play beer pong. That red colour and like the white just makes me think of those American house style party cups, house party style cup.
The solo cups. Yeah, no, it does. This is a really vibrant, bright red, with the contrast of the black and the white. So, like, kind of wrapping up on And Union. So, obviously we know there's modernist brewery, but they've got on Instagram, they've got 17,000 followers, and on Twitter they've got 16,000 followers. So they've got a pretty solid following. I've only just started noticing them here in the UK. So I don't know actually how old they are, if they've been around for a long time, or, it says they joined Twitter in 2009. So, that could mean something. It doesn't, or something. But, I don't know if they've just started pushing out into the UK or if they've been in Germany for a long while. It'll be interesting to kind of find out a bit more about them as they grow a bit, because I think we're saying from all of this company that we're really enjoying the beers that they have to offer. They're quite quirky with the way that they've gone about their beers, from this very high standard of German purity laws, but with a modern twist and style of branding. And, the sustainability of you doing things like reusable packaging. You can have now, like, obviously these tins, the 4-pack that I have is the Saturday lager, but you can get a 4-pack of all of the different beers that they have. And so you, in theory, could collect the set. You could get the Sunday lager, which is a bright orange. You could collect the Friday lager, the Friday IPA, which is a red can. So you could have like all the different colours, multicolored boxes and tins, and that would be a nice display if you were that way inclined.
Have you seen? They've got an And Union playlist. So they've put together a few of these. I'm just seeing And Union playlist number 3. It's called Days Like These, and it's all absolute bangers. Some of these, which are songs involving days of the week.
That's so cool.
Blue Monday by New Order, Ruby Tuesday, Rolling Stones, Wednesday Morning Atonement, Kurtz Harding, Thursday Morphine, and I think somewhere in there, this goes on for a while, so I think also in there there's Days Like This by Van Morrison and all that sort of stuff. So there cool. You go, music to listen to while you're drinking it as well.
Yeah, really leaning into their beer names. I liked it a lot. Babs, do you want to say anything to wrap up And Union?
I was just going to say, when you were going on about collecting all of the tins, it's a bit like collecting Pokemon, but for adults.
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe,
Rich,
and Simo,
goodbye. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter,
and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now. Always drink responsibly, and if you or anyone else needs some help, go to drinkaware.co.uk for more information.